So picture the scene. You've got to go out and play with a new band. You've got to memorize a whole shed load of music. How do you do it? How do you memorize that music so you know that when you're playing on stage live, you're not going to screw it up? I had a great conversation this week with an amazing saxophone player, Freddy V, who's a sax player with Average White Band. Now, Freddy had some brilliant tips on how to memorize music, tips that he uses. Stick around because today, that's what we're going to talk about. So, I had a great question this week from a Sax School student, Ralph, who was asking me about how to memorize music. Now, it's something that I get asked a lot inside Sax School. By the way, if you want to find out a bit more about Sax School, it's a huge community of learners. We've got thousands of people all around the world that use our library of lessons and connect with each other, and you know, it's pretty amazing actually, so you can check that out at mcgillmusic.com. Hey, also don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I'm making new videos like this all the time. So hit the subscribe button and hit that bell too so you get notified when the next video comes out. Now, it doesn't matter what level you are with saxophone, whether you're just a beginner or whether you're a seasoned pro, there's going to be times when you need to be able to play stuff by memory. I know it's come up all the time in my career as a player, but what's the best way to approach this? So I wanted to have a chat with Freddy V and ask him how he approaches it. Now, if you get a chance to see Average White Band, you know, pick up the pieces. They're a legendary band and great musicians. And Freddy V, Freddy Vigdor, the saxophone player, fantastic. Check this out. So I asked Fred, how does he approach memorizing music? What's his tips? What's his tactics? Check this out. So I asked Fred, what's the way that he approaches learning a bunch of new music? If he's got some new stuff to learn, say for Average White Band for a tour that's coming up, what does he do? And this is what he says.
For that kind of thing, it's a muscle that you have to exercise a lot. The way I exercise that muscle is by learning solos, like somebody else's solos. It's the same skill. Because I work with guys in Atlanta that are amazing musicians because they play in church, because there's a big gospel scene here in Atlanta. And a lot of the guys that play in the gospel bands don't read music. They go to their rehearsals on Sunday mornings, they run down a show of music they'd never played before, and then they play it that day. And those guys have incredible memories. And I bring them on my gigs and they can't read the music, but they know it all.
Wow.
They're playing it all because and that's a muscle that they flex. On the other hand, they can't read music, so they don't have that muscle. So it's a muscle that you have to, you have to do it a lot. So I would suggest two things. One is to work on learning stuff by ear, whether you have to or whether somebody assigns it to you. Find a solo and do it. That's an endless resource of material, and you probably go over this kind of thing with your students a lot, is just finding a solo you like and learning it like it's an etude. Like I can't think of the last time I cracked open an etude book when I practice. Like right now I'm working on this, a solo by the sax player Ralph Bowen. It's a solo on Invitation, and it's an incredible solo. It's 2 choruses. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. I've been working on it off and on for probably a year. Because I stop and I start and then I find something else. But I said, this time I'm going to do an entire solo and from start to finish. But you don't have to. You can do 8 bars and learn 8 bars. But that's a good muscle to develop.
Yeah, that's such great information from Freddy. And the thing is, you can start wherever you're able to. So even just getting one note or one phrase from something that you're enjoying listening to at the moment is a great starting point. Stick that recording on, listen to it, sing it, and then break it down and see if you can get that first note, then the next note, then that first phrase. And then not only creating that phrase, the notes, but also all the details with it as well. We talk about this a lot in Sax School actually. We do a lot of talk about transcribing and the ways to do it, and we work through a lot of transcriptions as well because it's such a wonderful way to develop your skills. And the beauty of it is that you can be working on this at home and choose what you want to work on, whether that's a jazz recording, whether it's a pop solo, whether it's a ska sax solo, whatever it is that you're into, you can make the choice, choose that thing, choose that phrase, and see if you can copy it in your own playing. Let's see what else Fred's got to say.
And the other thing is get a recording of it and play it constantly. Like when I joined Average White Band, there were no charts. They said, here's the songs, learn these songs, and rehearsals next Sunday. So that's what I did. I made a recording of it. You know, I think that was probably before there was MP3s. And I probably had a cassette, and I played it in the car, and I played it while I was, you know, walking around the house. It's just, you got to hear it. You just got to keep hearing it. I mean, there's no real magic bullet for it. It's just, again, it's a muscle that you have to develop.
So what are you going to work on today? What's the one thing that you could choose today to start transcribing? And it doesn't need to be complicated. Remember, it could be one note, it could be one phrase, it doesn't need to be the whole solo, just one small section. In fact, you know what? I would definitely say that is the place to start. If you really want to get some benefit from transcribing and improve your ear and your memory, then choose a phrase today. Choose a phrase that you're going to conquer this week and set yourself a goal to see if you can get it perfect, exactly just like that original recording on your saxophone, and you'll be on your way to building a great memory. Remember what Fred says, it's a muscle that you need to exercise, so the more you do it, the better you're going to get. Man, there was so much great information in that session with Freddy V. We were talking for the sessions just about an hour long actually, and there's just so much stuff in there that we can really use, all of us, me included, to improve our playing. So you can catch the full guest session with Freddy V inside Sax School as a Sax School member. In fact, there's a bunch of other guest sessions with incredible players from all over the world. And as a member too, of course, you get access to our full library of mini courses and the complete collection of lessons. There's hundreds of them in there. So you can really explore whatever you want to with your saxophone playing and push your playing forward. And of course, you get access to our amazing community of thousands of players just like you all around the world that are connecting and sharing tips and sharing support as a part of the Sax School community. So you can check that out at mcgillmusic.com. I hope you will. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell too so you get notified of the next video. I'll catch you next time.